What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by Big Daddy Kane. Thank you for coming through, sir.
No, glad to be here.
You have so many amazing accomplishments in your career, but one thing that I think people kind of overlook is something that a lot of people look to Illmatic for, which was having multiple producers at the high end of their careers on one album, is what you did on It's a Big Daddy Thing. Because you had 6 producers on the record.
I did.
In '89. Yeah. You had yourself, you had Marley Marl, you had Prince Paul, Easy Mo B, Mr. C, Teddy Riley.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You know, I never noticed that till you pointed out. Wow.
So that's '89. Illmatic is '94. So why do you think you reached out like that and had so many different people on the album?
Oh, well, I mean, it was, you know, people that had amazing music, you know. Easy Mo B was just really starting his career, and he had some amazing production.
Right.
You know, so I mean, yeah, and you know, that was my dude from when I was first trying to get on in the early '80s, you know. I mean, so I mean, you know, had to do that, you know, and the production was amazing. I mean, and Teddy was Teddy.
You got the job done.
Yeah, Teddy was Teddy.
Right.
You know, and I mean, me and Marley, we had already worked together on the first album. The Young, Gifted, and Black track was something that I had stashed in Marley's house. It was a beat that he did for Shan that I had stashed.
Wow.
Hidden from Marley. I'm like, I'm gonna use this next album.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
And how do you think Shan or Marley didn't pull it out and use it?
Marley couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
I moved the disc somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah, like Marley had gave Shan one of my beats, a beat that I did. Marley gave it to Shan for his album.
Okay.
But I didn't say that was okay. But I didn't really mind because I remembered him playing like that Young, Gifted, and Black beat, saying that, yo, I'm gonna get this to Shan. So I was like, well, yo, nah. I'm like, yo, I ain't tell you can get at the Shan, so now you owe me a beat. He like, all right, no problem. You can go. I'm like, all right, I already know what I want. Okay. So when he went to the kitchen, I took the disc and put it somewhere else in another stack, you know? Yeah.
Okay. And It's a Big Daddy Thing is, in addition to being one of the first albums that had multiple producers, it was also one where you had so many different sonic styles, not surprisingly with the different producers, but you had house on there, you had, you know, different social commentary stuff and all these different sounds, braggadocio. But for the single, you produced it first for Smooth Operator. So was that something that you did to show people you could do stuff on your own, or was that?
Well, I was already doing stuff on my own. I just wasn't getting the credit for it, you know. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah. Okay. Basically, I needed people to know that I produce as well. And but I mean, I just felt like out of all the songs, that was the right one to come out the gate with. Anyway,
okay.
You know.
And then for what reasons?
Because I thought that it was lyrical enough for my hip hop heads, but it had the right sample and right feel for radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then since you, what did you produce anything other than your own stuff that you didn't get credit for back in the day?
No, just my own stuff.
Okay, but you did write for other people, and one of my favorites that you wrote for Biz was the Pickin' Boogers. So I was always curious as to why that song, obviously, and it fits in with Biz's character and persona, but why didn't you have more like humor per se in your lyrics? Not necessarily in the same manner, but your stuff in general.
I mean, that's really not the direction I wanted to go. That's what Biz, you know, wanted. Because when I first started with Biz, that's what he had me doing. Doing funny rhymes about girls.
Right.
Because, you know, he wanted, you know, his show to be very humorous, you know, so he had me coming on stage. I used to come on stage to the Johnny Carson theme. You know, yeah,
Right.
he'd say, here's Big Daddy, and you know, and I come on and say some funny rhymes about girls. So, I mean, I could do it. It's just that's not the direction I wanted to go. I wanted to do lyrical stuff. And, you know, that was his thing, so he'd come to me like, yo, I want to make a song called Pickin' Boogers. Why? You know, because, I mean, it's going to be good. I'm like, what am I supposed to talk about picking boogers? He's like, I don't know, just figure out some sort of stories about somebody picking boogers, but somewhere in there, I just need you to say, hey, Ma, what's for dinner? Go up your nose and pick a winner. That's all information he gave me, you know. So I started writing stuff, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm not even on yet.
Right.
Let me write my ass in this story somewhere too. There was this girl that I went to high school with. I used to try to holler at on the regular, and she would give me no action. Then when I started doing shows with Biz, she saw me in Albee Square Mall one day, and she asked me about hanging out in the quarters, and she'll meet up with me, and we would go out and all this his stuff. And I'm like, you know, but at that point in time, I'm like, I know why she hollering at me now, because she see it's about to happen. And Biz is walking behind her, just laughing, just going just like Superman, jump over skyscrapers. This would be called the vapors. And he just kept doing stuff like that. Kept saying the vapors and laughing. Okay. So finally, with me and the girl part ways, I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? He's like, she got the vapors. And we laughed, and he explained to me what he mean by the vapors. And then he said, you know, yo, we need to do a song like that. Like, just imagine, like, stories about me, you, Swan, and Vaughn. And like, have the stories and just talk about people called the vapors. Like, yeah, do that.
Okay.
So it was, that was all his concept.
So, The Destination of Millions to Hold Us Back is one of your best albums of all time, and then you were on Public Enemy's next album.
No, you mean what you mean? Along with the Kane, you mean? You said Takes a Nation of Millions.
For Public Enemies.
Oh.
One of your favorite albums.
Oh, one of my favorite. Oh, okay.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, the next album, Fear of a Black Planet, you were actually on it with Burn Hollywood Burn.
Right.
So that song obviously is addressing a lot of the, you know, unfair, terrible depictions of blacks in cinema. As you now we're in 2019, how have you seen things? Are they the same? Are they different? Are they better? Are they worse? Like, how would you evaluate that?
At the present moment, I think that it's a lot better. Like, you know, I saw how it got better in the early 90s with the Spike Lees and Mario Van Peebles, Ernest Dickerson, and so many others. But right now, I think we're at that point again where Hollywood understands that black people want to see black people on film, and they will support these projects. They will, you know, pack the seats in theaters, and they will watch it on television. You know, and I think it's a good time, probably because of Black Panther. You know,
$1 million at the box office will do it.
Yeah. A black cast, black director. So I think that, you know, that put a lot of momentum. And, you know, you already had Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels, you know, doing their thing, but now it's getting, but you know, it's like we just have to, I just think, stay unified. Like, for example, I remember someone saying something about, Black Panther ain't for us. That we ain't getting none of that money. That money going to Disney. But I mean, it's like, you got to understand, it's like, you know, by a successful black movie with a black cast and a black director, it makes Hollywood comfortable to cut them $20 million, $30 million checks for other black people. You know what I'm saying? So as long as people, you know, respect, you know, a project for what it's worth and see like how it raised the value, I mean, it can carry on. But if you sit there and bash something just because you're saying that a black person ain't getting the money, and you bashing it for that reason, you know, then it'll go back down again, just like the Spike Lee, Ernest Dickerson, that era died out, you know, by the late 90s, you know.
Well, there it is, y'all. I'm Soren Baker, Big Daddy Kane. Thanks for coming through to Unique Access, man.
No, man, my pleasure.
Yes.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.